Hi, everybody, and welcome inside goyo.com for today's special interview with Bianca Smith. Bianca, thank you for taking the time to join us here this afternoon as we celebrate Jackie Robinson Day. We have Coach Pratt. We have a couple of her softball players on the call as well. So we'll just go around real quick. Everybody just introduce themselves, and then we'll kind of get into a little Q&A with our special guest, Bianca Smith. We'll start with Daisha and Chut.
My name is Deja. I'm from Silver Spring, Maryland. I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm from Pittsburgh, and I'm also a freshman.
I'm Liz. I'm from New York. I'm a second year.
Hi, I'm Healy. I'm from Los Angeles, and I'm a first year.
And then Coach Pratt.
Hello, I'm Coach Pratt. I'm from Ohio. I've got to know Bianca. She's done some guest speaking for us when I was at Case, and actually I took her and my son and his friend out to dinner and picked her brain about everything. So I got an opportunity to really get to know her. So she's awesome.
That was a good dinner.
Bianca, we've heard great things about you. Of course, you know, everything that you've carved out in your life and professional baseball, the first African-American woman to work in professional baseball, and just talk about, you know, a little bit your story. Share a few minutes of your journey and how you got to where you are today.
I'll certainly try to keep it to a few minutes. First of all, thanks for having me on. Really excited. So interesting fact, I think most people tend to forget, I actually didn't grow up playing softball or baseball. I grew up watching them, or at least watching baseball. Feel kind of bad, but I actually didn't really know softball was a thing. But baseball was my love growing up, and I played soccer for 10 years instead. Got cut from my high school freshman team 2 days into my freshman year. And softball was my backup sport, thanks to my mom. So that's how I picked it up. Physically, could not throw at all. So when I hear parents ask if, like, you know, kids coming in at 13, 14 years old, is it too late for them to pick up the game? I say not at all. I managed to go to a D1 school and play softball, and I'd only played for about 4 years in high school and managed to pick it up really quickly. So yeah, I went to Dartmouth, graduated in 2012 with a bachelor's of sociology, played varsity softball and club baseball, was also a cheerleader for 4 years. So I like to say I was a 3-sport athlete.
Yeah.
After that, went to Case Western, graduated with my law and business degree, sports law and sports management. In 2017, I was the director of baseball operations all 4 years. In my last 2 years, I also acted as a graduate assistant coach, among other jobs that I was doing. You know, it's D3 school. I helped out wherever I could. For there, that's when I started my professional baseball career, was a baseball operations intern for the Texas Rangers, moved to the commissioner's office as a scouting bureau intern. After that year and a half, decided I hated being in the front office. I wanted to coach. I missed being on the field, working with the players, building those relationships. Moved back home to Texas with my parents and worked as a volunteer assistant coach for the University of Dallas while working 7 part-time jobs at the same time to pay the bills. Moved up to Cincinnati in January of 19, was a baseball operations trainee for them. And that was kind of the turning point of my coaching career. I reached out to the major league staff asking for advice. And when they didn't get a chance to sit down with me because of their schedule, I went down to BP myself and just took notes on everything I could see. And the coaches noticed and got me on the field. So I spent the end of my internship pretty much from like 8:30 to 1. I was in the office helping prepare for games, advanced scouting reports, anything on the minor league side. And then from like 1 o'clock, 1:30 to game time, I was either on the field helping out for batting practice and infield practice, or I was in the clubhouse monitoring hitter swing selection during games. So that kind of got me started on that path. From there, I joined Carroll University in Waukesha, Wisconsin. I was the assistant athletic director for compliance and administration, as well as the assistant baseball coach. And 3 months later, they named me hitting coordinator. So I eventually took over the hitting program, first time I'd ever done hitting, revamped the program, and that's kind of what the Red Sox noticed. Once COVID hit and our season was canceled like everybody else, I spent that quarantine doing as many certifications as I could, sitting in on Zoom calls. Somebody from HR from the Red Sox saw that on my LinkedIn profile, reached out, asked if I was interested in talking about a baseball operations job. And they said it was a player development / hybrid role. I wasn't really interested, but it was a major league team, so I was going to talk to them. And after 4 interviews in a span of 8 days, that's when they offered me a coaching job instead. So that's what got me to the Red Sox. So that's where I was for the last 2 seasons, coached them down in our rookie ball down at the complex in Florida. Spent this past fall in the Arizona Fall League. So with like high A to some AAA guys from 5 different clubs, including the Red Sox. And then around that time, that's when I actually turned down the Red Sox contract offer. They wanted to send me back to rookie ball. I wanted something a little bit different. So I decided to kind of see what else was out there. So right now I'm kind of freelancing, coaching wherever I can. It's actually been great because I've got 2 loves, baseball and travel. And that's what I get to do right now is pretty much travel, coach baseball everywhere and help spread the joy of the game.
And how do you inspire other, young women maybe that are on this call or even just everywhere else that you've been around the world to, get involved in baseball, right? It's tough, right? It's a male sport. There's not a lot of females involved in Major League Baseball, professional baseball, really at all levels. So just how do you inspire and how do you kind of be a leader in this space? And what advice would you give to somebody that wants to take this next step and kind of break into the baseball side of things as a female?
Well, I'll admit, I certainly don't go out trying really to be a leader or inspire. I think it's definitely an added benefit to my job. For me, I just try to be the best coach that I can be. And I think that's the best way to inspire other women and girls to get into baseball, just being on the field, being out there, having a presence, but also making sure that I'm not being seen as anything other than just another baseball coach. Now, that's what I strive to be. I don't want to be the female coach. I want to be a great coach. I say, like, if I end my career only being known as the first woman coach for the Red Sox or the first Black woman coach in professional baseball, I did something wrong. I want to be known as a coach that players wanted to play for and just as a good coach in baseball. And that's what I try to inspire other women and girls to do, not just get into baseball, but to get in ignoring really your gender, because it shouldn't matter. And unfortunately, it starts with us. If we're the ones who keep bringing it up and keep mentioning it, that's all people are going to see are just women in baseball. This shouldn't be that big a deal. And it's going to start with us just showing that we can just be coaches. We can be front office executives. We can be scouts. We can be umpires. Doesn't matter what we're doing. We're just going to be like anybody else getting into baseball.
You're going to be doing something with Major League Baseball for Jackie Robinson Day, which is what we're here to kind of celebrate and honor. So kind of to talk about that, what's coming up for Jackie Robinson Day for you in MLB baseball.
Yeah, so MLB has a program MLB develops that helps kids, getting into baseball, host different tournaments around the country. And one of the things that I've had the privilege of participating in, this is actually my second event with them, is, specifically girls baseball. So next weekend, we're going to have a girls, pretty much like a camp clinic tournament. Doesn't really matter how you say it, but for 11 to 13-year-old girls playing baseball, there's going to be several of us coaches down at the Jackie Robinson complex in Vero Beach, Florida. And we're going to be with them for the weekend, coaching development and then coaching games in the afternoon. And like I said, this is my second event that I've been able to do. My first one was with high school girls playing at some of the, I think it was the top high school female baseball players in the country, which was really cool. But the point is, really just highlighting the ultimate trailblazer in baseball and then encouraging these girls to stay in the game and continue to help them develop so that they can become the next generation of women in the game.
Yeah, I mean, just recently we saw, is it Olivia Picardo, if I'm saying her last name right, from Brown University, makes first female Division I baseball player to play. So obviously that trend is happening. So what do you expect to see kind of, females in baseball over the next 5 to 10 years? And do you think that'll be something that'll grow, that we'll see more, collegiate females playing baseball?
Absolutely. It just starts with one. You've seen it with just women coaching in professional baseball. It started with, 1 or 2, and then all of a sudden we've got, I think, almost 20 this season right now. And that's only in the last 5 years. And for a lot of people, it doesn't seem like a lot of progress. I get it. This game has been around for 150 something years. But considering how long the history is in professional baseball, the fact that we've gone from 0 to nearly 20 in 5 years is a huge jump. Teams are realizing that, women know the game. They want to be part of the game. They can coach the game. And it's the same thing with, women playing. You've got, Kelsey Whitmore as well, playing professional baseball. You've got the women's national baseball team, which so many people don't know about, but they're amazing. I've gotten to know quite a few of their players doing different programs. A couple of them will be coaching as well with me next weekend. So now, once we see more girls playing, more girls will be interested in playing. Once teams, especially collegiate teams, realize that they can play baseball, that they don't have to play softball. No offense to softball, but it's two different sports. It's not like, a girl trying to play men's basketball. You'd see that just in the NCAA rules. They can't because it's the same sport. Baseball and softball are not. So knowing that women can play baseball gives them more of an opportunity to actually push that. And once we see more of them, it's just going to, that trend is just going to continue. And I'm really excited about Olivia. I got to bring this up. Of course, I was excited because I went to Dartmouth. So seeing her go to an Ivy League school is pretty cool. Right. I actually got to work with her a little bit in my first MLB Develops program. And I'm actually going to be coaching. I'm going to be one of the head coaches for a summer collegiate league this summer, and she's going to be on my roster. So I'm super excited to be able to work with her again.
I know that you don't really like being called the first, but the first does give the opportunity for the next person to say, she did it, I can do it.
Yes, I actually didn't really understand or appreciate the historical significance until later, when I started getting messages from other women and girls saying how inspired they were and how, this is a path that they might want to actually go on now, whether it's coaching, sports, just anything that just inspired them to push for what they want to do. And there were plenty of people who told me ahead of time, this is going to be a big deal. And I dismissed all of them. It's like, no, it's just another coaching job. It's minor leagues. It's rookie ball. Like, nobody's going to be paying attention to this. And now I've definitely embraced it a lot more. I still try not to think of it, though, as that's my job. I'm glad that, it's finally out of the way, because I feel like being the first, that's the hardest part. Just getting that first step. Now that the first is out of the way, the second, the third, the fourth, and continue can jump in. And then also, like, I'm sure you've seen this quote. MLB actually posted it about a year or two ago, that now that you can see it, you can be it. And I remember responding, like, I hate that quote because it implies that you can't do it until you can see it. But then that means nobody's going to do it. So I responded, no, if you can't see it, then be the first. Then that means, yes, eventually somebody's going to see it and they can do it as well. But if we all had that mentality of, somebody else is going to be the first, well, then nobody's going to do it.
I know you talked a little bit about, like, how have you had your identity, like, cause challenges for you, and how have you used that as inspiration?
Yeah. I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, there's definitely been plenty of obstacles just being a woman. And most of it is just coming from people who assume that I know nothing about the game. But it still makes me laugh anytime I see a comment about how, well, she never played, how can she teach the game? And I just want to scream and, like, type back. One, I played softball. Two, I did play baseball. So I don't know what you're talking about. I did actually play. But a lot of the times, perfect example of motivator. When I first got the job with the Red Sox, one of the comments I read was, she's never faced a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. How can she coach how to hit it? And my first thought was, well, if you've ever faced a 65 to 70-mile-per-hour softball, it's about the equivalent. Like I said, if somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm going to end up trying to do it. So worst case, even if I can't do it, at least I've tried. I never want to say I can't do something because I haven't actually tried it. And then, of course, there's, the comments. I've had one high school coach, back in grad school, I told him everything I was doing. And, with the graduate degrees, working for the team, and his response was, great, when you graduate, I can hire you to make sandwiches. And I was shocked. I think that was the first time I've ever had, like, a real negative comment to my face. And thankfully, my head coach was behind me and said, no, she's way too smart to be making sandwiches for you. And, like, that's the kind of stuff, like, if you hear that, I just think of people just being ignorant. Like, all right, well, now I'm going to prove you wrong. Now I'm going to show you that I can do it. I'm going to make you regret saying that. Just like with every team that's ever said no to me, unless it's like, I've had teams where didn't get a job because they were looking for somebody doing pitching. But if I know I'm qualified for that job and I still don't get it, I'm going to become so good that people are going to look back and go, I can't believe they didn't hire her. Yeah. So, like I said earlier, keep that competitive drive. Be the best, not because you're a woman, but because you just want to be the best. Be the best person that you can be the best in your job, and then do even better.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was awesome. We appreciate the time, Bianca, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors in the sport of baseball. And we're sure going to be watching and hoping great things are ahead for you. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you. You rock, Bianca. You're my favorite.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.